Welcome to the Sustainable Living Podcast. Tips, tools, and tactics for living a heart-centered life that honors Mother Earth and her inhabitants. The information shared on the Sustainable Living Podcast reflects the opinions of host Marian West, Janice Friant, and their guests. Please use your own discretion in research before applying any information to your individual situation. Now, here are your hosts, Marian.
Hi everyone, this is Marianne with the Sustainable Living Podcast, and I'm here with Nicola Syme. And Nicola is the CEO of the Happiest Girl in the World company, which is the best name ever.
Thank you.
Welcome, Nicola.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, it's such a great name. I love it. So let's just talk about why happy girls. How do you make girls happy?
Basically, Happiest Girl came about because I was getting really sick and tired of seeing young women just not loving themselves and not really nurturing themselves and appreciating their uniqueness and their unique beauties. And I just thought, right, something needs to change, and there's so much self-help and stuff out there, but there's nothing that's really, I used to find it quite difficult finding stuff that I could really relate to. So Happiest Girl came about that I'm wanting to create a real community for young girls, especially, that they can be a part of and feel really safe to be themselves and really learn to love themselves just the way they are and really build that positive self-confidence, hence being the happiest girls in the world.
Nice. I know you write a regular blog, and you talk about different tools of what people can do. Like in your latest, you talked about a gratitude journal and how that changes. Is that your main way of reaching out to girls, or do you do other things as well?
So at the moment, we have just been focusing on rebuilding the brand. So when I first started out, I was doing it alone and got a little bit lost. So I've been having people that have been helping me get that back on track. So we've just finished doing that. So now our main focus is getting the message out there. So that's going to be done in ways of the blogs, sending EDMs, emails out, and there's the Facebook group, connecting through the Facebook group and Instagram.
Great. So you also have a business where you're actually producing items we can touch and feel with our hands. Yes. That's part of the Happiest Girl in the World brand, right? I have so many questions about that. For one, why don't you tell us what you make?
I design and create sleepwear, loungewear, and yoga wear, and it's all made using sustainable fabrics of bamboo and organic cotton, and all made here in Australia in ethical factories.
Yeah, is the cotton and the bamboo also grown in Australia?
No, I do actually source through businesses in Australia, but I'm pretty sure that they actually source from other countries.
But like your cotton products are organic cotton, right?
Yes, 100% organic cotton. And the bamboo blends are a 95% bamboo with a 5% spandex, just because it needs that little bit of stretch in it. Otherwise, it's just a really stiff fabric.
So part of making clothes out of sustainable fabric, I mean, part of it is the care for the environment, right?
Yeah.
But there's also a part about how it feels.
Oh, absolutely. And the bamboo is like silk. It feels absolutely incredible on your skin. And the organic cotton, people say that it's not that much different to normal cotton, but I think it is. I think that the organic stuff just feels so much softer. It's beautiful.
Well, I think the psychological part comes in too. I know for me that if I can wear organic cotton, I just feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the fact that it's helping the environment. It's the fact that you're not putting those toxins on your skin. Your family's not being exposed to them as well, because so many chemicals go into manufacturing regular cotton. And until you start actually doing the research on it, you don't know. Nobody tells you this. So we're really about exposing that and making sure that people are really aware of what actually goes on behind the scenes when it comes to producing certain fabrics. So there is an element coming up as well where we're just going to be educating and sending out a lot of information surrounding polyesters, acrylic fabrics, nylons, rayons, anything that's really not sustainable and really doesn't take care of you or the planet, and just educating people. So I think that's an area that's really lacking. People just buy subconsciously, they don't even think, they don't connect the dots of how this product actually got created, especially, those $10 products that you find in certain, shops that you just go, oh shit, that's cheap, that's awesome, I can buy this and it's $10, who cares? Without actually really connecting what's going on behind the scenes with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here you can buy a lot of times like 3 t-shirts for $10. And
Yeah, there's a reason it's so cheap,
yeah, and just even thinking about it, is that somebody manufactured all the different parts which go into that piece of clothing, from growing the cotton to making the thread to weaving it to dyeing it to cutting, sewing it. And, nobody got paid anything, along the line.
Exactly. How can they? Like the $10 for 3 t-shirts, it's just, there's no money going back to anybody. It's really quite bad. Horrible.
Right, absolutely. Which is kind of the human sustainability part, that wearing somewhere, that probably slave labor or children's labor was used to produce it.
Yeah, and the stuff you see where the factories are falling apart and people's lives are in danger, and it's all just to make a quick buck. These major corporations, they just don't care about what's actually going on with these people in India or Bangladesh that are making these clothes for nothing. All they care about is what's going into their pocket at the end of the day, and it's human lives that this is affecting. It's really, it's not cool.
Absolutely. Also, for people which might not be as aware of, let's say, the story of cotton, you were talking about, how many chemicals go in there. So would you describe the journey maybe from seed to when it arrives in a regular shop, what all happens?
It's about the amount of water, like the water that they use to manufacture normal cotton is just, it's mind-boggling. It's the largest water user fabric creating in the world. And
our connection got a little bit interrupted. Nicola, who is in Australia, had just gone through a pretty big storm. And there were times during our conversation where things broke up a little bit. So I'm doing my best here to fill in what Nicola had to say about the impact of cotton. We heard her speak about water, how much water is being used, and to put it in perspective, about 2,700 liters of water go into making one cotton t-shirt. So for those of you which are into gallons and not into liters, that's about 714 gallons of water per t-shirt. About 400 of those gallons are going into growing it, and then the rest is manufacturing it. Another problem is having commercial cotton instead of organic cotton. Actually, I should circle back. So organic cotton doesn't take that much water because organic methods build the soil. So the soil can hold more water. There's less evaporation. So plants can take up more of the water given to them. So the impact or the water usage is much reduced. Another impact of commercial cotton growing is that they usually are grown in a monoculture, which means it's the same plants over and over and over. As far as your eye can reach, you see cotton plants and nothing else. And because of that, the plants are much more susceptible for pests and diseases. So very typically, those plants are being sprayed with insecticides and with herbicides. And again, to give you some perspective, about 2.5% of agricultural land is planted with cotton. And it's sprayed with 16% of the insecticides which are being used worldwide and 6.8% of herbicides. That's a big amount. And we have talked about it before. So things end up in the groundwater. And we don't even want to talk about workers being exposed to all of that while they're working in the fields, how it interrupts the natural predators. It kills the natural predators as well as the pests. So biodiversity in the areas go down. Other pests which might not have been a problem before become a problem. So I hope I pretty much filled in what Nicola was saying. And back to the interview. So we talked about how people are being treated in the manufacturing, and you're saying you're sourcing everything in Australia. So can you go a little bit through the process of, do you have different companies you get the fabric from? Do you manufacture in-house, or do you design and then have other people make things?
Yeah, so I design everything. The people that I purchase all my fabrics from are all ECA approved. So that's something that I definitely check for. They source their fabrics from other businesses. So everything is in a line of just, ethically and sustainably made products. Then I create and then I manufacture here in Brisbane. So I've got a factory that I use, as well as a lady who works from home who does all my patterns and things for me. So it's all, I like the idea of supporting Australian business as well, and kind of keeping it onshore and making sure that the jobs are being kept here for Australians as well, not taking everything, because everything is done overseas. Everything is shipped off mainland now, in places like China or India, because it's cheaper. But I really like the idea of, keeping things, creating jobs for people who are close to me, who are, in my country, and ensuring that I'm kind of contributing to the economy here.
Yeah, I think that some people are realizing it's more and more important that we become semi-local. That said, do you distribute your product all over the world, or do you mostly sell in Australia?
It can be shipped all over the world. I'm focusing on building Australia more so at the moment, but this is awesome because I want to really branch into America as well. So connecting with you guys is really, really cool. I have made a couple of sales to the States, but it's, still very early stages and still really generating a name and creating the brand and really solidifying that. So definitely want to be getting it out to the world, 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody from the States wanted to order a product right now, how would that work?
Oh, easy. Just jump straight online, www.hgitw, Happiest Girl in the World, it stands for, .com.au, and you can just go through the process there and then select where you live, and I will be shipping it out to you in the next day or two.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So you're concentrating on making things people feel really comfortable in, right?
Yeah. I love it. I'm a creature of comfort, and I used to always actually wear and this is where some like the inspiration for the designs of the sleepwear came from, was that I used to always wear my boyfriend's singlets and underwear to bed because I find them really, really comfortable. And I was like, oh, yeah, he would always kind of be like, why are you wearing my stuff? And I'm like, because it's super, super comfortable. And then I just kind of had a brain fart one day and was like, oh my God, why am I not creating stuff that's more kind of feminine and colorful, and, using beautiful fabrics that I can actually sell to women, because I want to wear this stuff, but, the guy stuff is very masculine, and I wanted some colorful, fun stuff to be able to wear at night. And yeah, that's where the kind of inspiration came from for it.
So you have night shirts, night gowns, not really gowns. They're more like, you actually could wear that during the day too, from what I've seen.
Yeah, so I wear the night dresses, the bamboo night dresses with the big gaping armholes and the boob tube underneath during the day. And, I know people that have bought it and wear them for yoga. They're just beautiful, and they can be worn any day. They don't have to be worn typically as sleepwear, but they're just really comfortable, beautiful, feeling garments that you can just chuck on whenever you feel like it, really.
Yeah, and I think that's huge, to feel comfortable in your body, and clothes make such a big difference. I think especially for women, we are so trained to have to look a certain way, and a lot of the clothes which kind of looks beautiful is not comfortable.
Exactly. And because I'm quite a casual tomboy dresser. I love, denim shorts and baggy singlets and stuff. But it feels quite tomboy, whereas what I wanted to create was something that was still really comfortable, but had that real feminine aspect to it. And I think, I think I've achieved that. There's a night dress in there that's just beautiful, and it kind of holds in the right places, and it ruffles in the right places, so you're not uncomfortable if your belly's a little bit bigger than you'd like, or it just kind of sits in the right way that you feel sexy and comfortable. But then
Yeah, I have come to a point in my life, if it's not comfortable, I'm not going to wear it. No matter how good it
Absolutely.
looks, if I'm not comfortable in it, forget it.
I hear you. I've been like that since I was freaking, I don't know, 18, 19. I love comfort.
Yeah. And I think we can always combine comfort and beauty. And it sounds like that's your motto, kind of, to feel happy in your body and feel beautiful at the same time. And you're supporting it with the clothing you're creating.
Yeah. So I want to create that community. I want girls to feel like they belong to something, but then be able to wear something that makes them feel like they are a part of something bigger. So when they're wearing that product, they're like, yeah, I'm part of the happiest girl in the world community. I'm connected to all these other amazing girls and women, and we're making positive changes in the world. That's the kind of connection I want to have between the product and the message behind it.
So you're basically trying to build a brand on the clothing which has bigger message about beauty is within. It's about feeling happy in your body, not looking a certain way.
Yep, absolutely. Hands down, you just summed it up perfectly.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did a very good job in expressing that in your website and in your online presence, that it comes very much across. Awesome. It's really not about looking one certain way, but that being happy in your body no matter what your body looks like.
And that's what we start, like with the e-blogs and the emails and stuff that will be being sent out. There's going to be information surrounding, like the gratitude that came out. There'll be stuff around affirmation and doing mirror work, looking in the mirror and, telling yourself that you love yourself, and just really creating that positive internal shift to move from constantly, picking at ourselves or beating ourselves up, to actually going, you know what, I'm okay. I am perfect, and I'm whole, and I'm complete. And I'm not finished yet, but that's amazing, and I am exactly where I'm meant to be and need to be right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about this aspect of it.
That's good. That's a good passion to have. And actually, you shared with me that you're a new mom, and one of your shirts looks like it would be easy nursing access.
Oh my goodness, they are the best. Yeah, Griffin, my little boy, when he first came out, I just lived in it. It was just a boob tube, and then you just basically the big armhole, you just pull it over, get it out, and away he goes. He's happy as. It's so easy. And a lot of the maternity stuff out there for us is really just, the blacks and the whites and the stripes. It's really quite plain Jane stuff. So having that option of wearing something that just, you want something that feels beautiful on your skin after you've had a child, because you're just so sensitive, and, there's so much going on in your body. And having that option of wearing something so soft, and then also being able to know that I could breastfeed really easily, and it just stretched where it needed to stretch. And they're perfect. They're awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it when I first looked at it. But then when you said you had a baby, I was like, yeah, this is perfect. And especially after having a baby, your body goes...
And through pregnancy
it goes through so many changes. And you need to have clothing which feels soft and beautiful, for sure.
Do you have children?
Yeah, I do. I'm a little bit older than you, so my children have children again. But at the time, maternity clothes was awful, and nursing clothes basically didn't exist. And I used to be in a La Leche League group, and a lot of us, we made our own clothes because there was just no options available. Yeah. And I don't know how Australia is, but the US is a little bit body conscious in terms of people get offended watching moms nurse, which I don't get at all, because it's the most beautiful thing, right? And absolutely natural. But having a way to do it discreetly, I think, really helps.
Yeah, definitely. But that just goes to show how much needs to change in our society too. Like breasts are perceived as such sexual things now. It's like, well, they're not. They're actually sacks of fat that hang off our chests to feed children, to sustain life, and that that's another thing. Like I haven't noticed it here in Australia so much. I've always kind of been wary of it because you would always see things online about mums breastfeeding and getting comments made towards them about how disgusting it is and that. And I've always kind of been aware and really ready to kind of pounce if anyone ever said anything to me, because I'm very, very much pro breastfeeding anywhere that you want to breastfeed. But yeah, haven't really noticed anything in Australia. And I have to say, a lot of like my mums and things that I know here too haven't had any kind of negative kind of backlash from breastfeeding in public. So I do wonder if it's actually quite a fair bit more prevalent in the States.
I think it's more here because in Europe, I didn't think that was a big deal either. But people are freer with their bodies there. Like in my family, when you're back there, people go to the sauna and everybody's naked. And, it's not a big deal. Or they go for a swim and come out of the water and change on the beach right there without towels around or anything. So it's definitely different.
It's beautiful. And if we all just stop being so freaking precious and appreciate the natural form and all its glory, that's all different. Like, life would
Absolutely.
I often just want to run around naked. I'm like, my little boy's naked, and I'm like, I want to be naked. Why am I not allowed to be naked?
Yeah, I mean, that's how we came about, right, in the first place.
Yeah, I love that about what I've heard about Europe and how they're much more open to that kind of reality.
Yeah, but people there too have body issues, and probably more so magazines become so popular, and then certain people like I'm really placing myself here age-wise, but do you know who Twiggy was?
Yeah, I know Twiggy.
Yeah. So, here is this super skinny wave-like girl, and people with all kinds of body wanted to look like her. And that wasn't healthy.
Yeah. Somebody's like, I am an athletic build. I'm a strong build. I will never be Twiggy thin. Like, that's just never going to happen for me. But I think a lot of people don't kind of grasp that and go, oh, actually, no, my body is perfect and beautiful as it is, and I will never look like that. And that's okay. She's her and I'm me, and we can all coexist quite happily. Like, there's nothing better or worse or, right or wrong. It's just different.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I noticed your sizing chart, and it's in centimeters, which I can deal with because I grew up with centimeters.
Yeah.
But people here think in inches, and your largest size, what would you say would that be an equivalent in American sizing?
That's a really good question, Marianne. I don't know. That's something that I haven't looked into, but something I definitely will look into and offer that information on there, because I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. I'm right now I'm thinking maybe it's a size 12 or some, but I had a question for you. So in the States, in Australia, that might be different, but here people have become a lot bigger. Are you planning on doing like really big size somewhere in the future?
That has always definitely been something on my radar. Initially, I was really wanting to target larger women because there is just nothing out there for larger women. Like, what they can actually purchase is just, there's really not much out there. So I have gone up to size extra large, which is, I think it's around a 16 to 18. I think that would be that. So basically my size small is based off me, and I'm a size 10, 8 to 10. So my extra small is a 6 to 8, and then it goes up. So then it's like 12 to 14, and then I'm pretty sure it's a 16 to 18 would be the equivalent in the American size. But definitely for things like the underwear, so like the panties and the boy shorts and stuff, I would love to start creating something for larger women, but it may be a couple of years down the track yet.
Yeah, that would be a great thing to get into, because I fear, especially as people are bigger, and I think a lot of time people don't know how there's other problems involved, like body parts rubbing onto each other and creating sores. So like your boy's shorts a little bit longer, a perfect type of a thing. And I think people have such a hard time getting comfortable clothes that it becomes like a moo thing. Just cover things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear is that you're thinking of. I mean, in reality, it's food here. And again, I don't know how it is in Australia, but we have talked in a lot of podcasts about it, how a lot of the food available here is not very nutritious. And there's so much sugar and everything. And there's a whole bunch of different things involved with being why people are bigger and why health is not so good. But no matter what, you want to feel good.
Absolutely. But I believe it's a combination of things. So it's very much a combination of ensuring you're putting the right things into your body, fueling your body with the right foods, being active, and getting out and walking is even just enough. Ensuring that you're moving your body on a daily basis, doing the internal work, doing the mindset work, positive affirmations, I am, practicing gratitude. Like it all comes together to create a really holistic living space for you internally. And I believe that you really can't have one without the other. You need to really have a really combined, like a real group of things that you are doing regularly to make sure that your mind is happy, your heart is happy, your belly is happy, your body's happy. I don't think it can just be something that you just go, right, I'm just going to eat lettuce for the next year.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to be happy and I'm going to lose weight. It doesn't work that way. And that's where I think a lot of people fall over. It's like, I'm on a diet. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I not happy? Well, there's more to it. It's not just about, changing what you're eating. It's a whole holistic thing that you need to make changes in changes in all areas of your life, I believe.
Absolutely. So I was curious, on your website, you were talking about getting tickets for an event. Do you want to tell us what that is all about?
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I have my first runway show coming up. It's with a company called Raw Artists, and they support up and coming artists in different cities. They're actually a worldwide event, which is really cool. And once I've done the first one, I can actually have access to doing all of them. So I'm really, really excited about that because they do come to the States as well, which would be amazing. So basically, in order for me to actually take part in that, I have to sell 20 tickets to people who can either come or just who want to support. And then, I can have my products showcased on the runway at this event here in Brisbane on the 6th of April.
Very cool. So is it just clothing or is it different kind of artists? Not that it's just
different kind of artists. Yeah, no. So I'm collaborating with a hair designer and a makeup designer, and we're all working together. So the makeup people will do the makeup on my models who wear my clothes, and the hair people do the hair. Then there's also live performances, photography, all different kind of elements. So it's a whole it's a real showcase. There's like static stuff as well as the runways and stuff, and there's roaming models with big hair designs and. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome night. I'm really looking forward to it.
That sounds really interesting. Is it meant to be like local events in each place?
Local artists, yeah. So they actually contacted me via Instagram and asked if I wanted to take part in it. And I think that's how they kind of generate a lot of the people who are actually involved is through Instagram. And just anyone in the local area that's kind of up and coming or has something that they think might work really well on the show. Yeah, it's cool. And I'm really looking forward to meeting other people in my kind of situation who are starting businesses and trying to make a difference and have an impact in the world, and just connecting with other artists as well around Brisbane would be great. Really cool.
Absolutely. Okay, first off, give us your Instagram handle if people want to follow you on Instagram.
Cool. So Instagram is happiest.girl.in.the.world.
Cool. And I'm going to link that into show notes too. Yeah, so that sounds really fantastic. And you said a key word here, said you're a young entrepreneur trying to make a difference in the world. So you're setting out to make a living, but you also want to ensure that everybody along you're touching, basically customers, people which are working for you in any part of the chain, have a sustainable life.
Yeah, low tox, sustainable. My vision with Happiest Girl is I want to be a global leader in sustainable and organic, environmentally friendly clothing that's made, really high quality, and it's comfortable and beautiful, and it doesn't cost the earth. And I really want to impact, women all over the world, to really educate them in the benefits of sustainability and creating that positive change in their lives around body image and happiness. That's definitely my driving force behind all of this. And that's, what gets me out of bed and keeps me going on those rough days, where it's like.
That's a very beautiful goal to have. And thank you for that. I think we need lots and lots and lots of people with
big dreams. Yeah. And it's, it may feel too large, and it may feel like you just can't do it some days. But if you're determined and you're focused and you just connect to that vision, then that we're all capable of moving mountains. We've just got to believe in ourselves and really, really just show up and put it out there and get it done.
Yeah, well, you're showing up here and putting it out there, so that's great. I really feel all of us, and I'm just saying that we have the same vision in different ways. I don't want to produce clothing for the world, but I do want to make a difference with the means I have. And I feel we all need to connect and support each other. That's the way towards the future.
Absolutely. Connecting and collaborating rather than, fighting against each other and dividing. Like, I think that's where the modern business world has gone kaput, because there's too much separation. When we come together and work together and help each other, God, so much good stuff can happen. It's incredible. And even finding here, like on the Gold Coast, and there's so many incredible people down here that are just doing amazing stuff in terms of having real impact on helping women, especially kind of move into that place of the feminine again, because I think a lot of women have become so masculine, feeling like we need to be men, we need to show up like men in this world, which is just not true. We need to be connecting with that feminine more, because that's where our power is. And there's so many amazing women and people down here that are just doing incredible things to really drive that home and really create that community of really strong, intelligent, powerful goddess women who just are taking on the world and going, you know what, we are chicks and we are doing it this way, and we're going to make a huge difference. It's really exciting to see. I love it.
I love it so much. My course and we talk a lot about how feminism has almost been a disservice to women. It has been a service. There were so many class ceilings, and there still is so much inequality. But like you said, a lot of women have left the feminine behind and have stepped into being male in a female body. And I just love that you said, let's step back into being
feminine. And you can still be a feminist and be feminine. That's the beauty and that's the power in it. Like, you can stand up for what is right for women, but that doesn't mean that you have to take on a masculine role. You can still be a woman, because we are women. We're not men. We're designed differently for a reason, and that's amazing. And when the masculine and the feminine work together, it's a really beautiful thing. We really complement each other.
Exactly.
But it's, the poor guys too.
Yeah, then we can work with men instead against men, right?
Exactly. And the guys are just standing over here going, we don't know what to do anymore. We don't know how to deal with this, because they're not used to having masculine women, because we're not meant to be. We're meant to help each other and work together and really create that beautiful space together rather than fighting against each other, which is what's happening, I think.
Loves that. Loves that. So also power to you. And it sounds like you have a tribe going on. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Look out, world, we're coming for you.
In a good way, in a good way.
Absolutely,
so I wanted to bring it back to closing a little bit, because on your side, you have also a place talking about clothing care. And what really struck me is that you said organic cotton has a potential to last longer.
Because the structure of it's not destroyed from the chemical treatment. It doesn't break down as fast because the structure is still strong. It's not being diminished in any way by the actual chemicals that are being put onto the fabric, because the organic cotton is pure. So it's got all its strength and its structure. There's no destruction there. It's stronger. It holds together well. It lasts longer. It's beautiful. And it actually will stay softer.
That's something I had never even thought about. And it makes so much sense because the regular cotton goes through so many different treatments. I don't know if it's still being used, but they used to treat any kind of fabric with formaldehyde before it would arrive in the stores. And I said it's so terrible. So having all these different chemicals and everything.
And that's going directly onto your skin. And your skin absorbs anything that you put onto it. That stuff is seeping into your body when you're wearing that clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But people aren't aware, and it's all done behind closed doors, and it's all done so sneakily, and that's where we need to really bring that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're unearthing those things and bringing it out in just awareness of. You're so right. I mean, it's not just the clothing, it's whatever else we put on our skin. There's so much chemicals in creams and lotions and fabrics and whatever. And then we wonder, why do we get sick? And
Exactly. And cotton actually, the cotton manufacturing actually accounts for 24% of insecticide sales and 11% of pesticide sales. Like, that is a huge amount, and it's actually only a small percentage of the world's cropland that is actually planted with cotton. I think it's around the 2% mark or 2.5%. But that's crazy when you actually think about how much chemical and insecticides and pesticides are being used on such a small amount of, farming land. It's just, and then, 20,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of cotton. Just let that sink in. Like, it's mind blowing how much water is used to create 1 kilo of cotton, and that'll make 1 t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Like, it's it's really
did you say that's about how much is used to produce 1 pair of jeans?
Yeah, so the 20,000 liters of water produces a kilo of 1 kg of cotton, and that is the equivalent to making a single t-shirt and a pair of jeans. So 1 ounce.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just for us Americans, 1 kilo is about 2 pounds. It's a little bit more than 2 pounds, but just around there. Yeah, that's enormous amounts of water. That's completely crazy. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing everything.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
What I loved most about talking to Nicola is the realization that there are so many young people setting out to create businesses which give them a living, but also are in tune with their consciousness and serving the world and other people. So that's wonderful, and we totally want to support it. So if you have a business like that, let us know. We want to hear from you. If you hear about a business like that, maybe their stuff is a little bit more expensive than what you can get at the dollar store or, the places where you go for cheaper stuff. But it's so worth it to support it. I think you learned a lot about cotton and what goes into the manufacturing of it. And obviously, if people earn living wages all along the production lines, the end product is going to be a little bit more pricey than some product which is made of people's backs who are not getting very much money for their labor. That said, let's celebrate you. If you have any clothing item in your wardrobe which is made out of sustainable material, organic, or where it came from, not everything is certified organic. So when I say organic, I mean methods used which are regenerating the soil rather than depleting the soil. If you have an item you like, take a picture of it. Take a picture with you and your piece of clothing and send it to us at sustainablelivingpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to show it off on Instagram, Facebook. So on both of those, we are under Sustainable Living Podcast. Of course, you need to give us your permission when you send the picture so that we can publish it. Let us know if you want your name included or not. But we love to hear from you. We love to show the world that being sustainable doesn't mean that things have to be ugly. Go for it. Send us your pictures. We want to see them. We want to promote them. Another thing we would love for you to do is support us on Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a site where creatives, so people which are creating podcasts or books or music or art of any kind, can find patrons. So in the olden days, the artist had the rich patron, which would pay for their living arrangements and for all the material and all of that stuff. And we usually don't have that anymore. So Patreon created this site where people can donate as little as $1, maybe even 50 cents. There's no lower limit and there's no upper limit. And you can donate per creation, you can donate per month. So you could donate like $1 a month towards the creation of our podcast. And we would totally love it. And of course, we would mention your name. So one of the person which has been supporting us now for a few months already is Jennifer Telford, and she hails from Nashville. Thank you so much, Jennifer. We so much appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's very generous. She gave us more than $1, so hey. But we love the dollar people just as much as the ones which give us more. So you're really helping to keep that podcast going. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the show, and bye for now.